Hey everybody, let's play catch up so I can get you up to speed with why I'm in this background versus some of the other backgrounds you've seen me in. And I have a tendency to ramble and forget what I'm talking about, so I made notes, so forgive me for looking down at my notes to keep me on track, and we might have interruptions from this adorable knucklehead. The other two knuckleheads are in the car at the moment, so hi, yes, you handsome. Anyway, I gotta make a video, okay? Anyway, last time I made a video, I was taking y'all on a walk to work with me, and I was in North Dakota. My time there was, can you maybe not mess with my camera? Thank you. So my time there was, we'll say interesting. I'll make another video on that later. I fully 100% acknowledge that I did not do my research on the town before I went. Totally on me, 100% on me. Just wasn't the right fit for me for a variety of reasons, which, like I said, I'll make another video. I've also started a list of that too, so we're gonna have lots of videos going on. Anyway, just wasn't the right fit for me. The biggest thing, stop, dude, get away from the camera. It just wasn't the right fit for me. The biggest thing was actually that I had some medical stuff come up that I needed to get taken care of. And my insurance will only cover the stuff that I needed done back in my home state, which was Illinois. And I just couldn't coordinate trying to go back and forth, you know, and work in North Dakota, but take time off to race back there for the testing, etc., etc. That combined with the other reasons of why it just wasn't a good fit for me, and I just decided that it was just time to go. I figured I would go back to Illinois, get the testing done, wait for the results, and then make a decision. If I needed to stay locally, I would find somewhere locally so I could get whatever treatment I needed done. Or if everything was free and clear, my plan was to head back to the Pacific Northwest, because I live in environments like this, and that's what a lot of my home back there is like. So that was my plan. On my way down from North Dakota to Illinois, I passed through Madison, Wisconsin, and I have never been to Wisconsin before, at all. Never in my life. And when I was in Madison, I stuck around for a couple days, and I fell in love with Madison. I love the water, I love the trees, I love all the parks. There are parks on every corner. Derp and I could go to a new park every day and not go to all the parks in the city. Especially when I was close to the college, it reminded me a lot of Berkeley, with just, you know, some of the older buildings and all that, but Berkeley with water and trees. So I figured, hey, if I had to stay locally, I might just stick around and stay in Madison, because I very much like it. And then when I got to doing the research on cost of living, you know, compared to going back to the Pacific Northwest, obviously it's a lot cheaper out here. My plan was just honestly to stay in Madison and relocate up there. So I went down to Illinois, and I had to be there for 2 days because I had to pick up some stuff the day before the testing, blah, blah, blah. I'll make another video on that as well. Had my first ever knock. I mean, technically he didn't knock on the car, but he was already there to do the knock, and I must have just sensed it. But again, I'll make a whole separate video on that, because it was just the weirdest fucking experience. Excuse my language. It was just the weirdest experience. And so after that weird experience at Cracker Barrel, plus the other one that I had with this lady coming out to my car, it'll all be in the other video. And then having to spend, I didn't have to spend, but I chose to spend a night in the hospital parking lot the day before the test that I had to do first thing in the morning. So that way I could be there, just get the testing done, and then hit the road. Yeah, again, I'll put it all in the other video. I was just ready at that point for nature. I just needed to breathe, because I had been building up to this appointment, and I had all that anxiety that needed to go. I just needed to be outside with trees and water and nature and no people. You know, I just wanted to be in the middle of a forest. But I'm in the middle of freaking Illinois, so I did not expect really to find any camping or anything. And at one point I straight up Googled cheap camping near me, because it's almost impossible to find free or really cheap camping here in Illinois, and they're not super friendly to car campers at rest stops up here. From what I've been told in the research that I've been done, it seems like you can only stay at a rest stop in Illinois, I think it's for something like 3 hours or something, like a ridiculous amount of time. So you can't actually spend the night and get any rest. So outside of Cracker Barrels, you're stuck paying for camp. And I don't want to spend $25, $30 a night on a campsite. That defeats the purpose of minimizing my bills and spending all this extra money. And it's going to end up being more than the rent that I had at some point. So I found this place that I'm at now. And the pictures were amazing. They were phenomenal. I mean, look at the background. And it was ridiculously cheap. You know, way cheaper than I was expecting to find. So it was only $10 a night. So I figured I could do that. $10 a night. That's fine. I could stay there for a night. Just give me a chance to breathe. And then I'll get up in the morning, head up to Madison, and, you know, start looking for a place to stay up there. You know, a place that, you know, either I can park my vehicle and live out of, or if I had to go back to a sticks and bricks, you know, start looking for like a little tiny house or, you know, something like that. As I pull in, or rather as I'm driving here, there's cornfields. If any of you watching has ever been to Illinois, there's fields everywhere. It's corn everywhere. And as I'm driving here, I'm like, there's no way there's this beautiful forest in the middle of all these cornfields. There's just no way. And I had to keep telling myself, trust the process, Andy, trust the process, you know, just go with it. It's only one night, even if it's not what the pictures are, you're safe there for one night. As I pull into the park, holy pajamas. Do you see what I have here? Like, it is phenomenal. There are trees everywhere, all kinds of different trees. I've learned some of them, I'm still learning the others. There's a couple of different little creeks that run through here. There's a variety of different campsites. There's all kinds of hiking trails. It's a great little park. I was stoked. As I pull into the campsite, the sign at the front gate says, go to the campground. Camp host is at, you know, this particular site. So I pull in, talk to the camp host, and it's pretty much empty. I think there were like 2 other campers in the area that the camp host is in. And he's like, yeah, we could definitely accommodate you for a night. And I said, well, at this point, let's just make it 2. Like, it's super chill out here. I just want to relax. So I ended up paying for 2 nights, got a permit. And over the next 2 days while I was here, I got to talking to the camp host, and come to find out they need another camp host still. And I'm thinking, dude, that's freaking awesome. Hi, go away, please. Got to talking to the camp host and found out that they needed still at least 1 more camp host. So I went the next morning, picked up the packet of information, got it all filled out, submitted it with all the stuff that they required because they had to do a background check, and went and did all of that. And 2 weeks later, everything came through, and here we are. I am officially a camp host for the rest of the season. They have some hunting that starts at the beginning of November, so I need to be out before then. But since my rig isn't really set up for cold weather, it's really dependent upon the weather. The supervisor here is totally cool with that. I told him that, and he's fine with it. He said, you know, you can leave whenever you want because it's a volunteer position. And he says, you know, and then next year when you come back, he's like, oh wait, might be too early, but if you want to come back next year, you can come back. I believe he said May. I can come back in May, I think. So yeah, I can come back and do this again and, you know, hang out all of next season too. So that really ties into my plans that I originally had, which included going to somewhere warmer like Baja, Mexico, which that's a whole other video. For the winter season will totally work out. So I can go down there and then I can navigate back up here and spend the summer back up here. So I think that's what my plan is. I will at least stay here for the remainder of the season. We will see how the rest of it goes. And for now, yeah. This is my backyard, y'all. And my front yard. And I love it. See y'all later.